And in the past few weeks, remember, we have seen a lot of loss of life both in Israel and in Gaza Strip. And amid the escalating tensions between Israel and Hamas, the Jewish country is now staring at a two-front war, even perhaps a more multi-front war. Hamas continues to remain the major threat, but Israeli defense forces have also warned Lebanon-based Hezbollah, which is known to be also backed by Iran, and warning them not to get involved in this conflict. Israeli military has accused the fighters in Lebanon of firing at least 2 anti-armor missiles into Israel, striking the border village of Manara without causing casualties, though. In retaliation, Israeli army has shelled towards the Lebanese, landing as rockets that were launched from the other side. Speaking to India today, IDF spokesperson Colonel Richard Head has claimed that Israel was well equipped to fight the two-front war. The US Embassy, meanwhile, in Lebanon has urged citizens on Thursday to make plans to depart. These are American citizens in Lebanon, that they need to depart as soon as possible while the commercial options are still available. Is this a sign of times to come with the sort of advisories that are coming out?
I'm right now standing here between Israel and Lebanon. That side, what you see all over on the mountains, that village, everything, that is Lebanon. And here, this is the last post of Israel. But you see this tower, communication tower, we just saw missiles being fired from there. You can hear missiles being continuously fired. There's continuous fire from both sides. There's machine gun fire and then missile fire. And we can see the impact of missiles and the look, a big fire, a big blast. This is probably artillery fire or a fire by a missile. Continuous fire. You see, this is continuous artillery fire. We are in a deflated position. We are in a safe position a little bit, but just 50 meters away from us, between these two sides, continuous exchange of fire there. We are able to watch it because of the height we have. Look, again, machine gun fire. This was machine gun fire. Like continuous machine gun fire. You can see tracers going. Continuous fire, continuous. Machine gun and artillery fire. Look, from both sides. Both sides. Both sides. You can hear this. Continuous fire. Machine gun. This is machine gun fire now from Hezbollah side. Coming this side. Continuous. This is light machine gun fire. Machine gun fire. Continuous. You see tracers going. You see tracers going in there. Tracers going. You see tracers in the air. There are tracers going there. This is continuous fire from the side on the Israeli position, which is firing missiles. Continuous fire. Continuous tracers and tracers. More tracers. Tracer after tracer. This is actual fire going on right now. Tracer after tracer from Hezbollah side. And this, they're firing just 200 meters away from us on top of this hill. I'm right now standing between Israel and Lebanon. This hill which is there right on top is an IDF post continuously firing on Lebanese positions, Hezbollah positions. And right there you see that's the last village of Lebanon, last territory of Lebanon. As the crow flies probably just 500 meters. We are safe, we have hill behind us and we have vegetation cover in front of us and we are taking cover the moment we hear fire. So that is the place where behind this village is where Hezbollah positions are, which are continuously firing on Israeli positions and on the territory of Israel. And IDF is responding, and we have been continuously listening to machine gun fire, missile fire, and artillery fire from both the sides. So there's a continuous battle going on between the two forces here. This is Rajesh Pawar for India Today from Lebanon-Israel border.
14 days had already passed between the war in Israel and Hamas. But now this tension is escalating in other countries of the Middle East. I am currently on one of the rooftops in southern Lebanon. Behind me, this is the South Lebanon, and on this side behind me is the Israeli border. And what we have seen that Hamas has now opened new front with Israel from South Lebanon. On Thursday evening, 20 missiles were fired by the Hamas fighters from South Lebanon to the North Israel, which has damaged many residential houses in the North Israel and injuring 3 civilians in Israel. And on other side, Israel is regularly bombarding South Lebanon with the artillery fire, particularly during the night hours. In fact, I am standing on the spot where yesterday at least 12 artillery fires fell, one of them on that house with the red roof, which has a visible hole of artillery shell in its rooftop. Now this tension is not only restricted to the land, but the Hezbollah fighters on Thursday fired a missile on the naval base in the Mediterranean Sea at Nakura, which is also behind me, visible in the visuals. There was not any report of damage in that naval base of Israel in the Mediterranean Sea. That clearly indicates now this war is escalating from country to country, from border to border.
So we are now getting, you remember, ground reports by our colleagues from different sides of the border. So one was from the West Bank, then from Israel, and now from South Lebanon. But South Lebanon also shares the border with the northern Israel area. So now getting you a ground report from Metula. This is the biggest town on the Israel-Lebanon border. The town is right where the border strip is and being bombed heavily by Hezbollah group in the last 1 week. Not yet completely evacuated of its civilians. But now we're being told that IDF is primarily there. Take a look at this report by Rajesh Pawar, who's on the border town there in Metula.
You see this crack in the mountain. This is Eon River. Eon River it comes from Lebanon into Israel, and this is the track it comes from. You see that white building there? That white building, that is in Lebanon, and this is Betul town of Israel. So this comes from Lebanon into Israel, and then it goes into Israeli territory. This whole area has been completely secured by IDF. There are soldiers everywhere, and the entire area has been secured to ensure that no terrorists infiltrate from Lebanese side. Hezbollah does not infiltrate this side, and then goes into towns and kibbutz on Israeli side. You see there's a town there on Israeli side, and there are a number of kibbutz in this area. You see the kibbutz there, so they do not want more activities like what happened on 7th of October to happen again. So entire area and this Elayth River has been secured by IDF. I'm right now on the outskirts of Metula town, the biggest town on Israel-Lebanon border. This town was heavily bombarded by the Hezbollah in last 6 to 7 days, and now the entire town has been evacuated, and there are no civilians living in the town right now. There are only IDF soldiers and military equipment in the town now. We are not permitted to go inside the town because of obvious security reasons. This is, here you can see, is Ilion River. The Ilion River comes from Lebanon into Israel. And if you see behind me, this town with the red rooftops, this is Metula. And if you see the tower behind this, single big tower, high tower, that is Lebanon. And you can see the signboard saying Metula that side. So the Metula is there, and just 50 meters from there, the Lebanese territory starts, and that big tower or building you see, white building, is in Lebanon. This is Rajesh Pawar for India Today.